Hello and welcome back to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. I am your 13-time champion and interim champ, Tony fucking G. Like, share, subscribe right there to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast, of course, on YouTube and Spotify and all the other various audio platforms. And also check out our other shows on the Big Bucket Empire at Facebook at Big Bucket Empire. You know how you can find all those great shows? Linktree/Big Bucket. One easy place. It's scrolling on the bottom. There we go. Shameless plugs out of the way. All right, folks. We are, an hour away from Money in the Bank, the actual show starting. I think the pre-show is probably kicking off about now. I got a bit of a cold here, but I will persevere. I'm apparently running solo again. I think former champ Chicken is probably out camping today, and I think Phil's got some family stuff going on, so it looks like I'm running solo again. I know you guys are never tired of Tony G, though, right? So, I mean, it's win-win either way. I just wanted to get the predictions in here real quick before the show starts. So here we go. Let's start off, excuse me, with the Raw Women's Championship. We've got Bianca Belair defending against Carmella. Does anybody actually think Carmella stands a chance in hell here? Absolutely not. This is not... This has never been a setup to get the belt back on Carmella. I don't think that anybody expects her to have a title run in the near future. They've not built her strongly since she was champion last, which is a shame because while her in-ring work does lack a bit in areas, she's a good performer. So while I wouldn't mind seeing her with a run, it's not going to be here. Bianca Belair is easily going to retain. The other women's championship match, the Smackdown Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey defending against Natalya. Now, this one's actually been kind of heated. People are wondering if this is legit or not. They're getting pretty testy on social media. Rousey calling Natalya's Weird Sister Kink OnlyFans YouTube channel. And Natalya snapped back with some good ones too. So that's actually been kind of entertaining. This actually does intrigue me. I'm kind of looking forward to this. A lot of people have questioned Rousey's interest in this run of hers right now with the company. And I got to say, I haven't been blown away. This is not like her debut run. This is definitely not as passionate. I think she kind of got a feeling of the business and kind of got soured on it because it's just one of those things about her in her personal life. She does tend to take what the fans say pretty much to heart in a lot of instances. And that's kind of hindered her progress as a performer. So while I do think this actually has the potential to be a pretty damn good match, Natalya's not going to win this. We all know this is all Rousey. Rousey will retain. The last women's match on the card, the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, we've got Becky Lynch, former champ, Alexa Bliss, a former champ, fan favorite Liv Morgan, whoever the fuck that is, Lacey Evans, Asuka, and God, who else was in this? Was it CLE? I don't know. Anyway, I know who's going to win this. It's going to be Liv Morgan. She's my 2-point pick. I think the way that they've booked her, they haven't booked her strong, but they've booked her to stay in the public eye. And the fans love Liv Morgan. They've been clamoring for a Liv run. So to put the briefcase on Liv, I think makes all the sense in the world because at least it gets her in that conversation to be champion. And if they do decide to pull the trigger on it, at least it gave her a way in. I don't think she'll cash in tonight if she wins the briefcase. I think they're going to run with this for a while. It'll give her something to carry around, at least if they don't actually put the belt on her. Now, if it's not going to be Liv Morgan, I'd love to pick my girl Alexa Bliss and see her back as champ. God, I would love to see that so much. But my 1-point pick is going to be the man, Becky Lynch, because I think she means too much to the company and she's just a proven commodity. Becky Lynch is. But I do expect it to be Liv, but if it's not Liv, it's definitely going to be Becky Lynch that walks away with the briefcase. I could see her cashing in if she won tonight, but I think it's going to be Liv. Now, regardless of who wins the briefcase, I would assume that Bianca is going to be the one that's going to get cashed in on. I just have a feeling. I just don't know why. I don't expect anybody to try to get Ronda from behind. I just don't see that. So yeah, I'm pulling for Liv here. I'm pulling for Alexa Bliss. She's just the run that she's had here in the last couple of years. I would love to see her back doing what she was doing better than most people on the roster when she was the champ. God, I would love to see that. I'd love to be wrong here and see Alexa walk away, but I digress. Let's go over to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, this one, I think I think this one's pretty lock solid too. But you've got Riddle, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Omos, Sheamus, everybody's favorite, Madcap Moss, and Sami Zayn. Now, this is kind of a different lineup than I expected after the last show. I thought we'd have like AJ Styles, Finn Balor, maybe Edge in this thing, but it's a different cast than I was anticipating, which is fine. I think this is actually going to be a decent match. It's not what I would have drawn up on the story, but there's some potential here. That said, I think the likelihood of anybody besides who my picks are walking away with the briefcase is pretty slim to none. It's not going to be Omos. God, no, it's not Omos. It's not going to be Sami Zayn. It's not going to be Moss. Sheamus, your time as champ, I hope, is come and gone. So that really only leaves Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and Riddle. I'd love to tell you Drew McIntyre is going to get another fair shake at world title picture. I just don't see it here. I don't think he's going to win the briefcase. My 1 point pick is going to be Seth Rollins. Here's the thing. I wanted to see after the Cody injury, and they still went through with the Hell in a Cell match. I think they should have had Cody lose that match. Like, came really, really close to overcoming the injury, overcoming the odds, and winning 3 straight, but just couldn't quite do it because of the injury. I think that would have been a better story. But now, Cody's beaten Seth 3 times, even with a very, very nasty injury. So Seth has been buried in that feud. Now what's he going to do? Win the briefcase, win a belt, or both, and then Cody comes back and beats him again? I think they missed an opportunity for a long-term story here between Seth and Cody. So it'll be interesting to see what they do if Seth does walk away with it. I think it's a pretty good chance, but we will see. My 2 point pick, however, it's going to be Riddle. I just have this sneaking suspicion with the Randy Orton injury. God, the injury bug has been bad this year, all over wrestling, not just WWE. The booking of Riddle after the Orton injury, I think they're kind of setting him up to take that next step as a singles competitor. And I think the way they do that is put the briefcase on him. Now, I could see him failing to cash in. I could see them playing this out for about 3 to 6 months and probably going after Reigns is Smackdown title if they're only going to do one. But I could see it being Riddle. I really could, because I think it's kind of in the same vein as Liv Morgan. The fans really, really appreciate this guy. He wouldn't be my first pick, but he's different enough and athletic enough and impressive at some of the stuff that he does that with the right booking, this could be something unique. It could be something different. It could be something special, but I could see him also not capturing the gold with the cash in. So I like him as my 2 point pick. But if I had to pick between the 2 guys I've picked, I think Rollins is a shoe-in to successfully cash in. Riddle, I think, will come up short. But Riddle is my 2 point pick. So I expect Riddle to walk away with the briefcase tonight. And I think this is going to be a pretty good match. So I'm actually looking forward to it. Now, we've got the I don't know what the order of this match card is going to be in, honestly. This could go a few ways. The Usos, the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, defending against the Street Profits. Stop me if you've heard this one. We've seen this match a bunch of times. The teams mesh well together. This will probably be pretty damn good. I'd like to see somebody else come up, but it's going to be the Usos. It's going to be a good match, but it's not something I'm clamoring to see again, but it's going to be a good match. But the Usos will retain. And finally, I think the only one I haven't mentioned, the United States Championship match. Theory, don't call him Austin, the champ, versus Bobby Lashley. Now, we kind of expected Bobby Lashley to be vying for a world championship or a universal championship or both. However, he's been relegated as a mid-card guy as a face, and that's kind of where he is as a face. So, the champ is the favorite here, and I could see Theory easily sneaking a win and escaping with the belt. But I think I'm going to go with Bobby Lashley here. I'm going to go with the underdog, if you can believe that. I'm going to go with the underdog. I think Lashley needs something to do other than losing matches on the mid card. So I think he's got to win this. I think if he has the belt, we can see a rematch with Theory. We can see some really good matches with some other people that would be kind of in that same tier for the U.S. title. I think this makes sense right now. Put the U.S. title on Bobby Lashley. I really think that you're going to see one championship switch tonight, and it's going to be this one. U.S. title. Bobby Lashley's going to win it tonight. Now, I told those guys earlier if they can get picks in, well, I don't know if they will or not before the show starts, but will there be a cash in tonight? I don't think there will be. Now, like I said, obviously, I don't think you're going to see Reigns on the show at all, but I don't think he'd be getting cashed in on anyway, because if you're going to sneak up on Reigns, try to cash in, you better do it after he's had a match. Otherwise, why bother? So that kind of leaves both the women's championships up for grabs if we do the women's Money in the Bank match first. So I think they might open the pay-per-view with the women's Money in the Bank, because then you've got that, are they going to do a cash-in later on during the women's championship matches? So I think you're going to see the women's Money in the Bank first tonight. I don't think there will be a cash-in. I don't think there will be. If Becky wins it, I could definitely see it, but I don't think there will be. Because again, I think it's going to be Liv. So I think the men's Money in the Bank ladder match will be the main event. They'll try to spread them out that way. Start with the women's, tease the idea cashing in throughout the show in the 2 championship women's matches, and then close the night out with the men's Money in the Bank. I think that's how this is going to go down. I feel pretty good about my picks on this one. I think I'm pretty much spot on with all of this. And 13-time champ says, well, gosh, what else would you expect? Kind of a prophet in these regards. So regardless, like I said, I think the pre-show's underway. I'll have to get it turned on, and those are my predictions. And that was the preview for WWE Money in the Bank 2022. Like, share, subscribe to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast, especially on YouTube and Facebook, Big Buck and Empire. Hit the notifications and catch me back here after the pay-per-view for the results, the review, and my star ratings of each match. And maybe some predictions after that. So we will see after the show tonight. I don't know how long it's going to be. It looks like it could be a long event, but after AEW's freaking marathon show, I'm kind of ready for a 2 to 3 hour show. So I'm hoping they keep it kind of in that vein. But yeah, we will see you here after the show, folks. I'm Tony G. Thanks for watching.